Hello and welcome to Learning Five's Coaches Show Match for the Spring 2019 split session. Starting off today's match, we have the teams of TMT versus... I forgot. It's team... Hold on one second, I gotta look this up, I'm sorry.
While my fellow co-caster is looking up the names of the teams, I'm going to have a little bit of a look at the draft. So, interestingly enough, both sides of these teams, TSM versus TMT, we have two Vel'Koz mains. So, Vel'Koz ban is not surprising. However, we have 380 carry bans from the side of TSM, I believe it is. Which is a bit surprising. It looks like they're focusing that bot line and maybe looking for a bit of an advantageous draft. So maybe a Lucian Braum, perhaps, and taking away everything that seems good. So on this patch 9.3, the difference between the last patch and this patch, the crit 80 carries have obviously come back in. So we will probably be seeing a lot more of the crit 80 carry with Enchanter support. There's a lot more power there. Also, because of the changes to the mid lane, to Akali, to Aurelia, to Aatrox, it gives a lot more space for these control mages. So seeing the Xerath there is not surprising at all. I'm really interested in this jungle matchup though, because neither of them really want to impact each other. They kind of want to just full farm it up and see what goes from there.
Karthus jungle is still a strong pick this patch. However, last patch, Karthus was strong in other lanes, if I'm not mistaken. But this patch, he's not quite as good mid lane, if I remember correctly.
I think Karthus in general is a really just solid pick. Like, you can take him mid lane, you can take him top lane, you can take him bot lane if you want to. It's a really strong flex pick. But more importantly, he's just extremely solid at completely farming out a jungle. He gets an XP gold, he gets an XP lead, he gets a gold lead over his opponents usually because they are more focused around playing around the lanes. Since the changes to the jungle mean that it's more efficient to cycle your camps and then look for a gank. But we have a matchup of Karthus versus Kha'Zix, which both of them never really want to interact with lanes unless it's a guaranteed thing. So I'm going to be really interested in seeing how that matchup plays out, how the Kha'Zix plays around the Karthus, and see if there's any invasions going on. Because if we look at the laning, if we look at the lanes that are currently set, there's very specific lanes of priority. So in the top lane, we've got the Riven versus the Sylas, which is a bit of a confusing matchup to me because I'm not entirely sure who wins that.
I believe it's Riven.
I think it depends, but your boy himself, who is playing our Sylas on TSM, he is a big Sylas aficionado. And he believes that it's very good into a lot of matchups. I'm not entirely sure about how it goes into the Riven, but we'll see. I do believe the Riven has priority up there. In the bot lane, we have the Lucian Janna versus Tristana Janna versus Lucian Braum, and as I mentioned before, Lucian Braum is a very lane dominant lane. So we'll probably be seeing a lot of play from the Kha'Zix around bot side if there is anything. But otherwise, it looks like it's going to be isolated lanes for the most part, and then maybe the junglers being ships in the night, as it were, going past each other, just kind of touching hands and saying good day and moving on to the next lane.
Something that's interesting, I think, to note is with Sylas's ult stealing, it's going to be really interesting to see what happens when he gets Karthus ult, because you might see two Karthus ults going down at the same time in a fight. In addition, Sylas does not actually want to steal the Yasuo ult because there aren't any knockups on the side of TSM outside of the Braum with his ultimate there, so he doesn't really synergize well with the Yasuo ult. But the Karthus ult is going to be really interesting to see Sylas using in these fights.
Yeah, it's going to be I think it's going to be quite interesting to see what Sylas targets. Your boy is a good player and does know Sylas quite well, so if he can target the right people for the right ultimates, such as you mentioned, the Karthus. See if he can steal the Karthus ult, the rest of his team can go in, get some damage off, skirmish around, finish them up a bit, like beat them up a bit, and then have the Sylas Karthus ult come in and be glorious. The other option as well is he can also steal the Janna ultimate. It'll be interesting to see if he steals that. Because on the side of TMT, it looks like they're a team that really wants to be moving forward. With the Ribbon, with the Yasuo, with the Karthus, Tristana, they all kind of want to push forward, look for skirmish engages and kind of 3v4s, etc., etc., and just kind of push forward on and on and on and not really retreat from a fight. The Janna is there as a safety mechanism. However, if Sylas can steal her ultimate, then on the side of TSM, we have the Kazakhs, a Xerath, a Lucian, and a Braum, who are all very kite orientated. So these team fights are going to be really interesting to see how it plays. And I think Sylas is an integral part of it. To see exactly how he reacts in a team fight with the ultimate that he's stolen, it's going to be a large part of us looking at how the game plays out.
And with that, as we load in, we're going to go ahead and send this over to some music, and we'll be right back. Do not touch that browser. See you in a bit. Hello, and as we load into the Rift here for the Learning Fives Coaches Show Match, we're going to go through the lanes. My name is Finnick. I'll be your play-by-play caster today. Joining me is Oz, production coordinator, head of all sorts of shit.
Head of everything in the entire known universe.
On the blue side, we have TMT, known as Too Many Tentacles. And on the red side, we have Team Solar Panel, TSM. We have Exil in the top lane for the blue side. Endir playing Karthus in the jungle. I am Pepega in the mid lane playing Yasuo. Tuller in the bot lane playing Tristana, and Emiko as support in Janna. On the red side, we have...
on the red side, we have your boy, who is playing Sylas up in the top lane. Bale, who is playing the Kazakhs in that jungle. Best Coach NA on the Xerath in the mid lane. Anti-Gravity is Lucian, and Cool Haxer on that Braum support. I'm going to talk a little bit about this level 1 invade, because I'm a little surprised that they did so. As I said before, Lucian Braum's a very dominant lane, so it's quite hard to do anything against them. But I'm going to be really interested to see how they path towards that bot lane, because they could be in for a little bit of a nasty situation if they do walk into that Trist Janna. However, because the collapse can come in, we're going to see very quickly whether or not they make a mistake. Oh, no, it looks like they just walked past each other. Never mind, everything's back to normal.
Yeah, Karthus gonna look towards this top side, gonna grab the red buff. It is warded. Your boy's gonna know that he's there. We'll see how he reacts. Somewhat noodling happened top lane right now, as it were. It's level 1.
Now, I'm entirely interested to see, as I said before, I'm not entirely sure how this top lane matchup goes, but Silas should have push priority on.
Oh, Endir's getting caught out here. Gets knocked up. He's out.
Oof.
Easy first blood on the side of TSM.
Yeah, that's a bit of a nasty one. As you said before, the Silas they had the ward down by that red buff. So Karthus tried to react to the level 1 invade onto the red sign and go and steal that red buff. However, the collapse came in. I don't think the mid lane, nothing was sacrificed for that in mid lane. So it's kind of difficult to go for those invades when you don't have priority in your lanes. So Silas, as I was mentioning before, has the ability to shove that ribbon in, which makes any kind of invades quite difficult, especially when he gets seen on wards. Now, it's kind of hard to predict where that goes, but now it's Karthus is playing the catch-up game to the Kazakhs. So the Kazakhs is always going to have priority now, and we'll have to see how India reacts to that.
Meanwhile, we're seeing trades happening top side. Zen is pushing in on this ribbon quite a bit. Seeing Kazakhs looking for that bottom scuttle. So now what does Karthus do to, as far as pathing is concerned, to get back into this?
So Karthus generally is one of those champions in the current meta where he doesn't necessarily care about what's going on in the lane. Generally, if Karthus is going to gank, he ganks at level 4 because he has his level 2 Q, and more importantly, he has his W. His W is very important. There's a fight going up in top lane, nothing much happening from that, but Karthus is going to look for that level 4 and then maybe look to impact a lane. To catch up from a level 1, not disaster as such, but level 1 misplay like that, he's just going to have to cycle his jungle camps very, very efficient. Now, what that is because the XP from the camps goes up as you clear them, every time he full clears this jungle and then returns and full clears them again, he's going to get a golden XP advantage over his opponent.
Zen heading in, trying to... Oh, I thought he was going to try to get the Karthus here, but it looks like he's just getting some vision. Invasive vision in that tri-bush.
So yeah, it also doesn't help when you're a Karthus and you're trying to catch up by cycling your camps and you get invaded on in your top side by your level 3 by a level 5 Silas. It's not nice.
Your boy's just shoving this wave in on this Riven. 33 CS to 17 CS up right there. Meanwhile, on the bot lane, a whole lot of nothing as far as trades are concerned. Oh no. Xerath just took the fucking... Took the chickens away from Endir.
Ooh, that's a harsh one. But yeah, as we're expecting this to be a little bit slow. 9.3 has changed some things to 9.2, where we've got that slower scaling lane from the Tristana Janna, which we're not expecting to go very aggressive unless there's an overextension from the Lucian Brawl. But it does look like there is some pressure being put on the Braum Lucian. Janna is actually quite good into melee champions like Braum and Alistar, simply because they don't have the ability to get onto her, whereas she can get poke off successfully on them.
Oh, look at these trades happening on bot side. Lucian not gonna get hit by the turret. It looked like he was in range of that, but...
However, if then you get full engaged on, that's where the issue comes in. Okay, so we're just seeing Karthus and Kazakhs trying to fight over this crab up in top lane. There's a collapse coming in.
Pepega trying to get the knock up. Smite for health goes through. Smite gets taken. It goes over to the Karthus. Meanwhile, Exfil gets the stun onto your boy, getting the knock up. Your boy's forced to flash. Exfil flashes. Riven ult not able to complete the kill just yet.
Oh, we've stolen the Riven ult. We're going to see a miracle outplay.
Here comes Karthus up in the top lane, grabbing a bit of damage there. Gonna get the Ignite. There. Oh, the Riven! Onto the Riven! Your boy able to get the first kill, but he's gonna be able to trade it back onto this cart. This cart just has to flash away. Level up, gonna give him some health. Yes, there's the double kill! Your boy! With the 1v2 outplays.
That was dirty. Now that's a Silas special right there. There's not really another champion that can do that in the top lane. The reason why he was able to turn that so well is simply because of his W, which gives him a massive amount of heals when he is low. So as we saw, Riven went in for an engage very early on, got Silas quite low. He was down to 150 health, and then because of the healing, he was able to steal the Riven ultimate, heal up. When they tried to dive that turret, he was able to turn it with his I'm not sure what the ability is called, but his E, able to turn it and then just turn and burn because of the amount of damage that he could put out from that point onwards. Now that he's really far ahead, we're going to have to see if if TSM decide to try and play around that and put pressure up in top lane, or if they decide to move their pressure into a different lane and instead let your boy just take over that. Because generally when you get a lane ahead, when you've got a split pusher like Silas, you want to make sure that either he is isolated so that you can have that 1v1 so that he can take over the game, or you move him into another lane and use the strength that he has to bully another lane.
Starts sending out bot side. He's gonna get spotted on the control ward, placed there by the or I almost said Vel'Koz, by the wow, name slipped me of the champion. Of the Kazakhs. They all sound the same, those Void champions, right?
All the same. You know, they come in through portals. No one's taking care of them. No one's checking if they've got
Meanwhile, all these tricks coming in Karth Assault. Riven Shield's gonna be able to go through it though.
Ooh.
And the kill goes over to Exel. Nice Karth Assault, able to get your boy down low enough where Exel's able to get the kill there.
And that's important because that's a Dark Harvest stack. And as we know, Karthus is all about scaling up and using those Dark Harvest stacks to punish you from, let's say, half health.
So the flash, the engage onto Exel. He's actually going to get out. That's a flash down. Meanwhile, on the bot side, that's a blue team dragon. That's going to be an Infernal over to the side of TMT. And now the gold's even. They've gotten Infernal. It's looking to get back into this game after the rough start.
What I want to say is that was an extremely good play from TMT. They capitalized well on the advantage that they had. They capitalized well on a slow reset from the bot lane, which meant that the across the map, TSM had lost tempo. And when you lose tempo, you lose the ability to have a first response to something. So identifying that, they went for the Infernal Dragon. They took it, and up in the top lane, the Riven got an extremely good 1v1 in as well. Silas, however, we can see your boy running around in the bot side jungle. He's trying to move his pressure elsewhere.
Well, he just saw the Yasuo ultimate. I'm not exactly sure how well that's going to synergize. Not able to get a knock. He's going to have to flash out. Yasuo, the tornado picks up the kill on your boy. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, looking for more. Tristana's going to rocket jump away. The stun heading in onto the Riven, but best coach NA having some trouble. Yasuo's going to dive. I don't think he's going to get much out of that. In fact, your boy's going to be credited with the kill there from the turret shot. Meanwhile, here comes the Kazakhs. Kazakhs able to get the easy kill onto the Karthus. But now here comes Exel with the Ignite. He's going to be able to take the kill. And best coach NA just sitting behind turret. That is a 2-for-2.
This is turning into a bloodbath. I love it. We see both mid laners move into the mid lane for something to occur there. And everyone dies.
The Yasuo kind of hinted that death right there. He went under tower with no health and no minion.
I feel like I feel like he was looking for his ultimate, because if he was able to land his tornado and then
here comes the Karthus ulti. Not able to get much. Braum ultimate gets Tristana. Tristana's gonna have to flash away from that. Braum flashes over, able to secure the kill. 4 anti-gravity on the Vel'Koz.
Yeah, so that's how that lane's going to go in general. If the Braum Lucian can get just the Winter's Bite off on the first champion scene, whether it's the Janna or the Tristana, if you can get that Winter's Bite off, then Lucian can follow up very quickly, and then it's a chain CC extravaganza essentially. Um, there are ways to deal with it, but it's just too much damage straight up at this point in the game. We're gonna see. I'll be interested to see the build path that this Lucian goes on 9.3, simply because crit obviously is a lot more stronger. So whether he's going to go the traditional build or go for a more crit focused build, such as Blade of the Rune King into maybe Rapid Fire Cannon into IE, who knows? We'll see.
TSM going in onto this Rift Herald. Looks like TMT knows it there. Question mark pings coming out for them. Rift Herald at about 6,000 health. I believe it's just going to go over. There's really nothing that can be done about him at this point with the Karthus on the bot side. Maybe trying to look for a gank onto this Lucian.
The Braum roaming up there as well. Now, I'm not entirely... I don't like the idea of the Braum roaming up. It's cool to be moving across the map. But what this does is it forces a lot of pressure out from bot side. And as we can see, the Karthus is taking advantage of the fact that he knows that there are at least four people on top
Rocket
side.
jump over, Unbreakable, gets popped out, and he gets knocked up by the Janna shield, or by the Janna. Easy kill over the Tristana, but meanwhile, top lane, Eskel trying to make the moves come out. The Oswald comes through, able to get the kill onto the Kha'Zix. Kha'Zix gonna be Xerath trying to get something. Flash comes through from your boy. Your boy able to get the kill on the Riven. Meanwhile, the barrier gets forced out and taken by Pepega. That is a very nice skirmish on the side of TMT. That's probably going to be the mid tower here, especially because turret plating goes down in about 20 seconds.
The Tornado Snipe at the end there, stealing it away from Tristana. But that's an extremely good collapse. Now that's the issue when you send so many people up to top side and lose tempo across the map. When you have people reset at different times and you have everyone group up and you don't have the first response on things, you get collapsed on. Braum tried to move back down to bot lane to assist his Lucian and just got killed. And then from that point onwards, the rest of the team, because they moved up to react across the map, because they had the tempo, it meant that TSM found themselves in a very awkward situation where they were too deep, without enough vision, without the ability to react to things, and then just got collapsed on. Now, it would be interesting to see how TMT take this lead, because it is just a 400 gold lead, how they take this lead and move it forward. More trading going up in the top lane, but nothing too major, just Silas doing Silas things. But it'll be interesting.
TSM heading for the straight though. We'll see.
Yeah, I think that'll be given. That's a Cloud Dragon. It's, take it. It's nice to have. At this point in the game, it's not a massive deal.
Game one of the Yasuo. Looks like this Kha'Zix might be in trouble. He gets taken down super low. Ignite's gonna get the last take onto him. On a killing spree. Meanwhile, Axel trying to get the stun onto the Silas. Silas gonna back off and disengage quite a bit there.
Oh, more potential stuff going on in the mid lane, but looks like they'll just back off from now. But yeah, as to the point about tempo, right now we're going to see Yasuo reset. Now that gives Xerath the ability to respond, and as we can see, your boy is moving down as well, and that's Silas. Just put some vision down, but if we look at the vision control from TSM, it's extremely good. There's a lot of vision, but it's very defensive. It's spread out across that river line, which would imply that they're trying to make moves through that river by controlling the vision, making sure that TMT can't see them moving, and then looking for something on the bot lane or looking for that mid lane. What I would like to see is Bale on that Kha'Zix to control top side vision to allow your boy to move down into mid lane and try and punish this Yasuo.
Oh, but here comes the bot lane. Rummeltman comes through again. We'll get two. Tristana is too fed, though. Deletes the Lucian. And here comes the counter. It's not going to be enough with that Unbreakable. And you're able to get the kill on that Karthus. That's a bot turret.
That is definitely a bot turret, and they will be free to roam up to that top side. And the only point of strength at the moment that TSM have is that top lane. Once that bot lane is freed up and they go and rotate up to that top lane, which will most likely happen, is most likely what I want to see happen. Oh, Rift Herald summoned in the mid lane as well, just to try and respond.
Well, he was about to run out of time on that, so we had to use it now. Yasuo's going to be able to stop this pretty easily, I would assume.
Trying,
he's
maybe
able to get
against
the
the charge off.
Able to get the first bonk, but no tower.
That's half health off a tower, it's fine. But now, if we see the Tristana and the Janna move up to the top lane, it's going to be an issue, because the only point of strength that TSM currently have to play around is that Sylas. And we want that Sylas to be roaming, we want him to use that push pressure that he has, the push advantage he has over that Riven, to look for plays elsewhere on the map. If he is stuck defending against two people, against two ranged champions, it's going to be very difficult for him to impact the map.
Yasuo in a bit of trouble over here. Cool Haxer does not have his ultimate, so not able to get follow-up going. But here's Sylas, maybe gonna catch up the Tristana. We'll see.
Oh, he goes in.
Tristana fighting up, but here comes Janna. Sylas trying to get some ultimates out, not gonna get one just yet. Gets a little bit of damage onto the Tristana, and that's a lot of damage. But he's going in onto the Janna, but it's too late. Too little, too late. And he's gonna get up here. So close. Provides a little bit of damage that's required there. 2v1. Your boy almost had it. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Riven's gonna go in. Yasuo's gonna ult on that. Flash Goat's taken away from Best Coach. Best Coach taken so far out. Riven ultimate gonna miss him. But that's definitely a mid turret on the side of TMT.
Yeah, so we're currently looking at
whoa, here comes topside, and you're gonna get caught out here. Is he gonna be able to get something? Lucian with the ultimate, not gonna miss it, but
minion
comes over the Braum, and here comes the ultimate. Karthus able to get a triple. Well, dead. TP's gonna be canceled as Pepega takes the mid turret. Can this get any worse for TSM right now?
That was just a horrible across the map in every single situation. I think in the mid lane, the Xerath got away. He got away from the Yasuo. Yasuo used everything to go in on that. And then the Karthus ult came in. And Karthus wasn't even looking at that, he was looking at the top lane. And up in the top lane, he also got a kill. So across the map, by Karthus pressing R, that triple kill comes in. And from this point onwards, it's going to be extremely difficult to actually team fight into that. So we're going to be looking at TSM trying to play to the side lanes, trying to move the Sylas to a side lane and play to him with that Kha'Zix Sylas combo. Try and pick off people, because at the moment, I just do not see how TMT are going to think about team fighting. With that Janna, yes, sorry, TSM. I don't understand how they'll think about team fighting.
Well, Tristana just gonna rocket jump in onto the Xerath. Xerath's not gonna be able to do much about it. He's gonna blow the Stomp Watch early, but
he's dead.
He's still gonna die.
He's gone.
He also gets stunned under his tower, but Riven almost gets caught out, not able to get to the deletion just yet. And here comes Tristana, Riven ultimate, not able to kill the Kha'Zix. Yasuo gets taken down, but so does Kha'Zix. I'm not sure that's quite a worthwhile trade, because this Tristana is still up and forces the Braum out. Meanwhile, Sylas to split push things, but this is going to be a dragon for TMT.
That's the second Infernal, and that's an extremely good dragon for their team composition. They have the Karthus, they have the Yasuo, they have the Tristana, who all want to build massive amounts of AD, and Riven, who all want to build massive amounts of AD and AP. They all want to scale up to that mid game, to that late game, and the Infernal makes them scale so much harder and so much easier. But as we mentioned, that Sylas off in the side lane, potentially getting even a second turret here. No, the Riven will stop him. So it's about, for TSM, it's about... Oh, that's a risky place to recall there, buddy.
Oh, he gets sputtered on that ward.
He's off. But, yes, so with TSM, they are currently thinking about ways in which they can come back into this. Now, they do have an extremely good team with wave clear. If they can think about turtling up as such, the Xerath will be able to wave clear out extremely well against the against TMT, against their team comp. But Tristana, as we get into the later stages of the game, is just going to be able to walk up to a turret, hit it once, back off, walk up to the turret, hit it once, back off, and no amount of wave clear is going to save you from that. So the longer this game goes, the less chance TSM are going to have in this game, in my opinion. So we're going to need to see some extremely strong plays from that Kha'Zix Sylas combo, picking out people on the side lane. If
Meanwhile, Riven gonna get a bit of damage onto this Braum.
oh, that Carthus came in.
Requiem not able to kill him, but brings
That was
down
a little bit early there, buddy. Getting a little bit feeling your Cheerios there.
Oh. Xerath Q does nothing to this Tristana right now. He's got no damage. He's only on one item. Meanwhile, this Yasuo is on 2 items, completed boots, and starting his 3rd item.
So yeah, I'm interested to see whether or not this Tristana has gone for the bloodlines in bloodlines in what is the rune? I can't remember the name of it, but it's the yellow one.
Precision.
Precision, thank you. It'd be interesting to see if Tristana has gone bloodlines in precision, because usually a Tristana will take alacrity, because it means that once you get the first and second alacrity procs and that increased attack speed, it makes it much easier for her to proc her E, her 4th shot of E in lane, without any items. Before buying any attack speed, that alacrity is required for her to actually proc that past level 6, level 7. But going Bloodlines is a better late game option. And if this team is looking at anything, it's late game. So I'd be interested to see whether or not she actually chose Bloodlines. We'll see here. No, she has not gone Bloodlines. She is sticking with Alacrity. She is a smart cookie. Meanwhile, on top lane, we're just kind of resetting across the map here and waiting, feeling out the next play across the map. The Sylas into the Yasuo combo. I think that's a little bit dangerous for the Sylas there.
Might be. Riven's gonna be caught out a little bit by this Kha'Zix, but able to get the stun through. Ultimate, trying to get a little bit more power. Blast Cone coming through, able to finish off the ultimate onto the Kha'Zix. Kha'Zix is gonna go down. Braum's here, but he has no follow-up because he is a support. Support combat does not work with the Riven.
Wants to walk in, just like punch her in the face a little bit and then walk away. He's a true man's man there. Even in the face of a top laner versus support, he's not afraid.
Anti-Gravity getting caught out. Tristana flashes forward. Requiem gonna come through to finish up the kill. No, the heal comes through just in time to save.
Ooh.
Barely able to get out there, but he's gonna have to recall. Meanwhile, on the bot lane, trade's happening. Yasuo not gonna take the ultimate just yet.
Maybe a
TMT
little
was
bit
for Baron. Or towards Baron.
Maybe a little bit early on that Carthus ultimate there. If you'd waited for the Tristana E to proc the damage, then the Dark Harvest stack would have come in on that Carthus ultimate and probably would have finished off that Lucian. But it does look like TMT are fine just controlling vision around that Baron and kind of shoving up mid lane, getting mid priority, and then resetting. I'd like to see them reset here because they've all got a fair amount of gold to spend at this moment. Let's have a quick look at the gold. Yeah, they all have over 1,000 gold to spend. Riven has just spent hers, picked up that Yomo's Ghost Blade. And as we look into baiting around this Baron, which is very, very, very easy for TMT to take, the one thing that they don't want to do is potentially give it over to TSM. Because if you give it the Baron over to a 1-3-1 team, to a 1-4 team, Sylas on the side lane is going to be able to deal with quite a lot, and the pressure is not going to be able to be dealt with. However, Baron is not actually a save the game moment for TSM because they can't actually make that much use of it at this moment.
Yeah, they don't have any real way to push the lanes, especially because Sylas is not doing particularly hot right now. He's not doing poorly, but he's not particularly being hot ahead of that Riven, which will be able to outpush him at this moment. But here we go. TSM able to get the catch onto the Janna. I mean, really nothing you can do there when, you know, everyone decides that they're gonna kill you and you're on your own.
Apart from not be there. Yeah, it's a little bit Janna in this situation. She's the one person that needs to be standing behind the rest of the team, so walking up that far is a bit of a question, but I think just a little bit greed for vision control there. Oh,
Braum ultimate comes through. Here comes the TP from you, boy. Here, the Xerath trying to get some sort of damage onto Pepega. Pepega is taken down. That's a shutdown over to the Lucian. Ultimate stolen from the Janna.
Carthus ultimate
from
stolen.
the Carthus. Oh,
there it goes.
Here we go. Oh.
That was not nearly as much damage as I thought. I'm disappointed in that. I was going to expect
but here comes the return Carthus ultimate.
Oh, and again. 2 Karth assaults, no kills. How exciting!
I thought maybe for a second your boy was gonna get a Karthus ultimate off that would do a lot of damage, but it only did a little bit of damage.
I was like, wait, I'm so used to silencing ults that aren't meant to do that much damage. Oh, we've got someone that's left the game, and we have a
Let's
pause!
go, pause! Woo!
It's not a Learning 5 show match without a pause, ladies and gentlemen. Always occurs. Hopefully this one won't be too long.
The pause coming through.
Yeah, so if we just look at the map state currently, obviously I can't move my screen around, so it's a little hard for me to look at everything. But what I am interested in seeing is that TSM actually have a decent amount of vision control around that Baron. They don't have any real vision inside the Baron pit because there is a control board cutting off any vision there, but they do have excellent vision around it, which is how they were successfully able to follow up on those picks. And the one thing that TSM do have that is extremely in their favor is their skirmishing power. They have Kha'Zix and Sylas and Xerath who can damage over walls. So if we're in that situation and we look at the vision control that TSM have, especially around that ramp from mid to the Baron, they have a very strong ability to fight around. We have a reconnect.
Yes. Something that I find a little bit interesting is that Lucian opted in a black cleaver here. Can you explain why he would take that pick here as a second item?
I think it generally, when obviously on 9.2, Lucian with these 2 items and then the rapid fire cannon as a third is generally the strongest. This is on 9.3, so there is an argument to be made to go for a more crit orientated build. But this one is fine simply because Lucian with the Blade of the Rune King and Black Cleaver is a more skirmish build. It's more towards getting lower CDR so that your abilities are on a lower cooldown so that you can move around in team fights more, so that you can dart around on the edges of team fights, break down the tanks that are on the edges, and then open it up for the rest of your team. There isn't much for him to open up for the rest of the team, but it is just generally better because Lucian is more of a mage AD carry, more of a caster AD carry. So his damage is tied to his abilities, opposed to his auto attacks until the later stage of the game.
Here we see on pause coming through. Vision game really focused around the Baron. Control ward in there on the side of TMT. We're looking for the Baron fights, as it were.
But why would you need a Baron when there's a Cloud Dragon up?
I don't know. Why would you take a Baron over a Cloud Dragon?
When you can move faster, you can just run past the enemy, even if they've got Baron. There's a Cloud Dragon up, no one appears to care about it, there's no vision on it at all. There's, no one moving around it at all. It's free for anyone to take.
That's kind of unfortunate because this patch, you now get in-combat movement speed from the Cloud Drake, which is fun because now it's not only for your rotations and your split pushes, but now you can go fast in combat.
I think it's actually quite useful on Karthus. If Karthus could get that Cloud Dragon, he could actually move forward more in team fights. Simply because when Karthus moves forward in team fights, he's limited. His movement is limited by the cast animation on his Q. So you'll find when he's chasing down targets, they'll quickly run out of his range simply because he kind of mini stuns himself every time he's cast that Q. So a Cloud Dragon.
Slightless is spotted bot lane, as is the Kha'Zix. This might be an attempt at Baron from TMT, but they're going to decide, nope, not worth it just yet to go after this.
I think it's very dangerous for the Kha'Zix to leave that Baron side at this point. They need a way to control mid priority so that they can rotate between maintaining that Baron vision and also keeping pressure on the map. But the Kha'Zix
get slowed down here. Braum ultimate comes through, trying to get her disengaged. Yasuo's able to get over. Flash over the.
Oh,
here comes Requiem. Easy kill onto the Braum. He doesn't even have to be there. He's just like, oh, I'm gonna press R and kill it, and that's gonna start the Baron. Sylas and Riven in the bot side. Neither of them have TP available to them, but the Kha'Zix getting deleted by the Yasuo. Redemption gonna come down. gonna grab something. Anti-gravity's gonna have to flash away. Meanwhile, in the bot lane,
We're still
that's a
like,
kill. That's an ace, and that's a Baron for TMT.
that is messy. Now that's the power of a team that is got 2 Infernals and has hit their
wait.
2 item spikes. Oh, that's a surrender.
Oh, what are you doing? This is a show match. Come on.
Disappointed. There was a potential. Honestly, from that point onwards, it's very difficult to look way back. There are ways, as I said before, playing around the side lanes, but maybe they want to save their mental, save their power. Just draw it all up for that next match. Maybe they think about a little bit more about maintaining mid priority in the next match. Maybe they ban that Yasuo because it seemed like a main issue. Maybe they put more pressure on the Karthus. Maybe we'll see.
I mean, on the side of TSM, your boy did play very well early game there, so I would assume that they do want to put him in a little bit more of a powerful position into this next game. Maybe give him something a little bit more carry oriented, maybe something like an Aatrox or the like. I think that they really just kind of didn't have the ability to do any damage past the mid game there, especially from behind, and that kind of fell to their doom. They just kind of bleeded out after that very solid early game from TSM.
I think the play that mostly dictated the pace of the game was just how they collapsed very nicely onto that Karthus in the early game when he tried to vertical jungle once he knew that his red buff had been stolen on that level 1 invade, and they collapsed. And the Sylas got ahead, and we saw the Sylas go very strongly, play very strongly, but across the map, just individual misplays causing a kind of breakdown in how the team wanted to play. How the team wanted to play around that Sylas, pushing up that side lane and maintaining a siege position with that Xerath and that Lucian on the side, in a mid lane, just pushing down while the Sylas had free roam on the side. Once a team like TMT's with the Tristana, the Karthus, and the Yasuo get ahead, very difficult to actually stay in the lane against.
And with that, we're going to have a second game in a few minutes. As soon as they go through the pro draft stages, can TMT close this one out, or is TSM going to bring it back and take it to game 3? We'll find out in a few minutes. Don't touch that browser.
can't I sleep or eat right now? Ever since the day we both walked our separate ways, I'm better than okay, better every day. Ever since the day we both walked our separate ways, I'm better than okay, better every day. Dancing by I'm trying not to track down the things I've lost. I'm trying not to get back what I forgot. All the things in the past, all the memories. I'm reaching out to get that, but I'm falling to the ground. And I'm falling to the ground. And I don't want the fucking feeling when I'm down. And I'm falling down again.
And welcome back to the Learning Fives Spring Session NA Coaches Show Match. My name is Finnick, and joining me on the desk today is Oz, the man who does everything.
Everything. Literally everything in the universe. That's how we work it.
Today, we have game 2 of Team Solar Panel, also known as TSM, versus Too Many Tentacles, TMT. Last game, TMT on the blue side was able to get a win over TSM, and now they swap sides heading into game 2. A couple substitutions have been made on the side of TSM. Bale has moved to the top lane from the jungle, and replacing your boy, we have Kovki. Sorry if I mispronounced that. There is no standard pronunciation for such a thing. So now for analysis of these bands, I'll let my awesome co-host here do the thing.
So oh, there's the Carthus again. I was actually surprised that Carthus wasn't banned.
Oh, they didn't actually lane swap. They just weren't in LCS order.
Yep. Well, we might see this change. Who knows? Maybe a jack stop. But I'm surprised that Carthus wasn't banned after how it went last game. Maybe they think they can abuse it a little bit more than they did. But it was a large part of why they weren't able to successfully pull off the 1-4 last game. So seeing it come back in is a bit of an issue. Vigar here, which is interesting. It does cut off a lot of engage options. I think Vigar's a very good pick into engage heavy team comps, simply because he's able to control areas very, very well. So currently we have a Jax, a Xin Zhao, and a Vigar, which are all very, very good at just controlling those areas around those choke points. If you get in and you try to come through, let's say, the Baron ramp, if you're fighting around the Baron or the Dragon and you try to enter through those very enclosed areas, the Vigar cage or the Xin Zhao ultimate will cut off your ability to do damage. We have yet to see if that is, I'm assuming that's actually a Jax top, considering we have the Xin Zhao picked. So that's a Fiora versus Jax top lane. Now, that's a very scaling matchup, but the Jax comes online earlier, especially when we have Xin Zhao. A Xin Zhao Jax combo up in that top lane is a lot of threat, and if the Fiora gets behind against the Jax, it's going to be very difficult for her to actually impact the map in any meaningful way. So we're just seeing a kind of a Vayne into a Kai'Sa. Now this is a matchup that I suspect we'll see a lot more on 9.3. We hadn't seen too much of it on 9.2, simply because Lucian and Ezreal were so strong. But the Vayne Thresh into the Kai'Sa Janna, that is weighted towards the Vayne Thresh, even though it would seem like Kai'Sa has a lot the advantage there. The Vayne Thresh is a very aggressive lane, and the Janna doesn't have very many tools to deal with the Thresh walking up and simply auto-attacking her, flaying her, and looking for those hooks. And unlike a sustain lane, unlike a Nami or a Soraka, any damage done to the Kai'Sa in that lane is actually permanent. So Kai'Sa cannot walk up and try and trade with the Vayne, simply because the Vayne will then just tumble and get that damage off. So we've got a priority lane in the bot lane, we have a priority lane up in the top lane, and that mid lane matchup is dependent on whether or not the Syndra feels like pushing, because there is the Xin Zhao. So the Syndra has that priority and can push up, but then the Xin Zhao can threaten her and look for that the level 2, look for level 3, look for that just that damage, and she's not going to have much support from her Karthus jungle, who's going to be looking to power farm. So we're looking at 3 potentially losing lanes here on the side of too many tentacles. So we have to see how it's going to balance out, and if there's any way that they can just stall it out for those mid-game team fights and skirmishes.
I do like Team Solar Panel's draft here a lot more than last game's. Last game, they really didn't have much of a win condition. This game, it's pretty simple. Get the Vayne ahead, get the Jax pushing, get the Xin Zhao. You can either opt in a 1-3-1 or full-on team fight. Thresh has a crap ton of engage. They definitely have a lot more damage on this team than they had last game as well, and a lot more scaling.
It's a lot more let's say 2-dimensional. It's a lot more 3-dimensional than it was, because there are multiple win conditions for that team. There is split push. You can have the Jax get really far ahead, and he can take over a side lane. If you put the Xin Zhao pressure, because pressure is a resource. If you're going to use it, you use it efficiently. The Xin Zhao pressure up in the top lane if you want to get that split push rolling, and you use the Vigar to stall out any kind of siege anywhere else. They have team fight pressure because they have Xin Zhao, Vigar, Jax, who can control areas of team fights very well, as I mentioned. We have Vayne, who's also a very good split push pressure. So there's just, and they've got a lot of catch as well. So they have multiple win conditions that they can play through. On the sides of too many tentacles, there are also multiple win conditions for them to play through. They again have the split push. They have catch because they have Syndra and Kai'Sa. They have rotational pressure because they have Kai'Sa and Karthus. But it's all very predicated on not falling behind too much in the early game. So it's gonna be very important to see if we see another level 1 play, if we see another early jungle pressure from the Xin Zhao onto the Karthus, or if we're going to see a more slower, sedate game as too many tentacles try and slow it down, while TSM try and speed up the game a little bit more.
And with that, we're going to go ahead and send you guys over to some music as we go ahead and load into the game. So don't touch that browser. We will be right back in a minute or so.
So yeah.
Get up and go. My heart is always on my sleeve. Done with dreams and make believe. The face of pride we didn't know begins to show.
And hello, welcome back to the Learning Fives NA Coaches Show Match for the Spring 2019 session. I am Finnick, your play-by-play caster. Joining me today is Oz,
Hello.
person extraordinaire who does all the things. And today we have Team Solar Panel on the blue side and Too Many Tentacles on the red side. Coming out for game 2, TMT taking the first win here. Substitution has been made on side of Team Solar Panels. Your boy is out. Kovki is in. And in the top lane playing Jax, you have Bale. In the jungle playing Xin Zhao, you have Kovki. Mid lane playing Veigar, best coach NA. Anti-Gravity playing Vayne in the bot lane, and Cool Haxer on the Thresh.
And on Too Many Tentacles playing on the red side, we have Excel up in that top lane, Endir on that Karthus jungle, Syndra for I Am Pepega, Tula and Emiko playing Kai'Sa and Janna respectively. Now, the early game, it's been a lot slower than it was in the last game. There were no invades, just very defensive vision and a 5-point start from both teams.
Yeah, just kind of doing the standard start here. No cheeky invades. Jax saying hello.
Ooh, already some aggressive trading.
Fiora does have more level 1 damage than the Jax, though, so I'm not exactly sure why he's doing that, but, okay.
I think he just wants to limit test, as they call it, see what he can do,
Oh.
see what his opponent's going to do.
Zen's out getting aggressive towards the spot lane, though. Look, he's invaded, trying to go out with this Karthus here.
It's a little surprising that he's done that. He's invaded onto the blue side, which is where Karthus is most likely to start. Now, Karthus is not a slow jungler. Karthus is a... Whoa!
But here's the engage flash taken away from the Karthus. Follow-up comes through from Xin Zhao. First blood on the Xin Zhao. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, heal expended from the Kai'Sa as they try to get away from the Thresh hook there. First blood at 2 minutes, 20 seconds over to this Xin Zhao. So aggressive.
Yeah, so I said it was going to be a lower early game. Apparently not. Apparently they want to prove me wrong and call me a liar at that. Oh, cook onto
the Thresh
Kai'Sa.
hook comes through. Flay's gonna miss because the Kai'Sa flashes out, and the flash coming over from the Janna. Trade damage, not able to get it back onto the Vayne. And Remedy's gonna get out there okay. Both flashes expelled. All the summoners are gone on the bot lane for TMT. Meanwhile, Anti-Gravity is sitting on both his thumbs.
The thing is as well, though, is that in that bot lane, there's a large wave up in top lane, which is going to crash against that turret, but I think Jax will pick that up nicely. In the bot lane, we have a difference of rune choices. So the Vayne has gone for the lethal tempo, which is the higher damage, more aggressive rune choice. However, it does mean that she has less sustain. The Kai'Sa has gone for a Doran's Ring start with Fleet Foot, which means that that trade damage that they invested so much in, that the Thresh got a very nice hook onto the Kai'Sa, that they committed so hard for, is pretty much null and void at this point because the Kai'Sa has such a large HP advantage that they cannot successfully trade into her. That's the benefit of starting with a Doran's Ring in 2 pots as opposed to a Doran's Blade in 1 pot, as well as taking that Fleet Footwork up in top lane as this trade going on, and nothing comes.
Yeah. Bot lane is a bit exciting though. Xin Zhao can look for an early gank here, but he's gonna take the top scuttle first.
Yeah, it looks like he's just trying to track this Karthus. It's the smart thing to do, making sure that they know how many camps Karthus has taken by making sure that they can see, if they get vision of him, they can see his CS count and therefore know what camps he's taken. But Karthus in general will go for a full clear. As I said, he's not an extremely strong ganker until
He's coming around this mid lane gank. Flash away from the Syndra, gonna try to get a little bit. Stun, gonna be able to get something with that Scatter of the Weak. Not able to get the follow-up damage just yet. Xin Zhao is gonna level up out of that.
If she had landed, if Iron Pepega had landed that Scatter the Weak with the stun, there is the potential there for a follow-up to have come in, the Ignite to go down, the Q from Syndra to finish him off, because as we saw, he used his flash earlier to secure that kill onto Karthus. Now we have to see, now that both junglers have reset, are going to buy their items and look to, again, impact the map, what lane they choose to look at. Whether Karthus decides to impact a lane at his level 4, or whether or not he decides to, again, start cycling his jungle that experience game. Looks like Xin Zhao is going to be looking to take his Krugs, and then maybe look at bot lane again, because there is the potential there for the gank with the Thresh Lantern to come in and look for that lane gank with those flashes. With those flashes still down on the bot lane. Top lane, they're just limit testing. Oh, maybe.
I mean, Bale was able to grab the counter from Fiora and actually get the stun by baiting it out.
There's
so
a large amount of minions up in there, though, which means he doesn't want to trade too aggressively without that counter-strike. Jax is a kind of a unique champion in that he doesn't necessarily care too much about minion waves. He can trade into you even despite the number of minions while his counter-strike is up. If he uses that, then he can no longer trade into you in minions. And with that wave that Fiora has built up in that top lane, he's not going to be looking to trade anytime soon. He's just going to try and pick that up under turret and look to maybe recall and pick up a significant item.
And you know, just gonna farm. You got a bunch of farm lanes here. You got Veigar in the mid lane. His entire kit revolves around farming with that Q. You've got the top lane with the Jax. He's just gonna farm under tower while he tries to bait Fiora. But Zinzao gonna face check onto this Syndra. Scatter of the Week's gonna get the stun. Meanwhile, top lane gets the stun onto the Fiora, but not enough follow-up yet. Dashes through, not gonna get the vital proc. And we reset back to normal.
We return to the slow roll again. Never mind, they're going in hard.
Oh, the flash from the Fiora! Counter-strike. It would, you know, not get damage done.
It's an extremely aggressive trade, but that flash has been blown from the Fiora. That was be looking at aggressive gank options than the Karthus is ever going to look for. So that flash being down up in the top lane, that flash being down in the mid lane are all options for them to gank. A TP back to top, that's an aggressive TP. They potentially could have made something of that, but nothing is going to come from it. Look at this vision up in top side of River though. They've got 2 control wards already, just to make sure that Xin Zhao cannot look to get anything done up in that top side of the map.
And we're seeing right now not a lot of action happening in most of these lanes just yet. I assume that's gonna maybe do. The hook lands onto Kai'Sa. Kai'Sa does not have flash. Exhaust comes through. Never mind, she flashes out. Heals. The ignite coming in from the Thresh. Is that gonna be able to do enough damage? No, it won't. But here comes the hook. Oh, the shield! The Janna is dead.
That's
That is easy kill onto the Vayne. And
That's,
Kai'Sa's just kinda...
that's a potentially a mountain dragon as well. The Xin Zhao is going for it. There's a lot of vision control, but as we just saw, Karthus and Syndra both reset, which means that there's no one here to contest that dragon if they win for it. There's a Kai'Sa alone in bot lane. There's a Jax that has full control over top lane currently. I think it's free to take that, but they're not actually looking for it. It looks like the Xin Zhao's going for that crab instead. Oh, no, now he's going for it.
I believe that would be the case. Yeah. Coming across.
Direct to camera doesn't like us to see dragons. They're not important. The only thing that's important is this Jax farming up. Oh, there you go.
Oh, but Fiora's taking him down a half.
coming
Would be able to do something there. There's the dragon. Wow. Wow, directed camera. Show us the freaking dragon.
We can't get everything we want. But as I said, they successfully taken that dragon. That dragon was as a direct result of Karthus and Syndra resetting at the same time. Now, in the first game, I was talking about how when you lose tempo, you lose the ability to react to plays across the map. That was a perfect example of where multiple people reset at the same time, which loses your control across the map. If you do that, you better do it at a time in which there is not a priority objective up on the map, because otherwise they can just go straight to it and take it. Ooh, Karthus up top laner.
Karthus has to flash away Xin Zhao ultimate, gonna put him down, but
the red buff.
Gonna go through Karthus ultimate, maybe gonna try to get it. No, he's up to about 230 health. Syndra's here, she can press R. There's the scatter of the week. No need to press R even. Dash comes forward, but you have no health. You're dead. Still 1-for-1, Xin Zhao or the Karthus.
It's 1-for-1, but this also means that both junglers are off the map at the same time, and that is always a benefit for a Karthus. Now, it was a 1-for-1. Gold is even. Let's say, I mean, it's 300 gold in favor of Too Many Tentacles.
That's on bot lane CS.
That's all bot lane CS, but more importantly, both junglers are off the map. Now, we mentioned how the Xin Zhao wants to snowball the early game and have the aggressive look on the game, make the aggressive plays. If he's not on the map, he can't affect that. Whereas the Karthus can just continually die if he decided to, and also just return to his jungle, farm up, cycle his camps, get that experience gain, and just use his ultimate to have that global pressure.
Meanwhile, bot lane, trade's happening. Farming.
So Cornwallish, that's not Cornwall, it's a Devon Farmer's Dream. None of you will understand that because that's an English reference.
Oh, but the scatter of the week onto the Veigar, but she gets taken out by that Kate. Veigar gonna be able to get the kill there, but Pega's gonna be able to get the trade. They did in fact press R before Veigar could could go forth and do something, but here comes Xin Zhao on the dive. Ultimate gonna be able to keep him alive. But
Very
Karthus,
aggressive.
oh, he's got the ultimate available too. No, he doesn't. Karthus ulti,
Did he not
not
have it?
available. No,
I
he
need to,
didn't.
I need to look back into. He did use it in the previous engagement, but no, it was definitely off cooldown. He still had a large amount of time left on that. That's unfortunate.
That is unfortunate for the Karthus. Not able to get the trade kill. 600 gold lead onto the Xin Zhao.
So very
While
good
in the bot lane.
very good presence of mind from that Xin Zhao, though, to recognize that the Karthus did not have ultimate, that did not have any defensive ability to break that Xin Zhao away from him, and just going deep under that turret. Means he has tempo control, means that he can go for this aggressive invade again because Karthus was not on the map, and he can pull his team up with him because he has priority in both lanes. Looks like the Vigar's not moving though. Vigar's on a slow rotation.
Platforms to Syndrix, Scatter of the Week gotta go through. There is
Oh!
Oh, the Thresh gets deleted, and here comes the Kai'Sa trying to get another kill after already killing Xin Zhao, trying to get something on the Vayne. Vayne is gonna be able to stay alive, but here comes the Requiem. I'm sorry. Oh no, you're able to stay alive! Vagar able to get the stun onto the Karthus. Karthus is dead. Will he be able to get some kills posthumously? No, he will not. That's actually a trade of 2 for 1. That could have been a lot. Oh!
Oh,
The
nice.
Void Seeker from a mile away snipes the Vayne as the top tower goes the way of TMT. And just like that, we're at the same spot we were last game around this time.
Exactly the same. Again, early plays from TSM, giving them the early lead, strong jungle pressure, strong idea of how to punish the Karthus, and then there's a single swing point in the game, a 3-man Janna tornado from across the wall, knocking them all up into a Syndra Scatter of the Week, stunning them all, and just a great follow-up. Meanwhile, Jax had to TP down to that top lane while the Fiora did not respond. So Fiora is in an extremely good spot right now. And as we said before in the pre-game lobby, or sorry, in Champion Select, there are multiple win conditions for this TSM team. But one of them has just been taken away. The Jax can no longer contest that Fiora because Fiora has a 40 CS lead. 30, let's say. Has a 30 CS lead, a level advantage.
Oh, Xin Zhao gonna catch up to Karthus though.
And Karthus is dead again. Yep, there you go.
In the top lane, Fiora's just kind of doing all the damage to the Jax right now.
It's not quite, that matchup is not quite at the level which Jax
Oh, the
is.
Fiora ulti coming through, forces the Jax flash. Fiora gonna flash to follow up on that, able to get the final procs of it, gets the solo kill onto the Jax.
Okay, so maybe the Fiora is at the point in which the Jax cannot deal with it. But as we mentioned in the Champion Select lobby, there are multiple win conditions for this TSM team. One of them has been taken away. The Jax cannot split into the Fiora any longer, so they need to rely on another win condition. Either team fighting or catching out. Now the Xin Zhao is playing very aggressively, has good vision control, so they can rely on catching out, unless he gets
Oh
caught
no,
himself.
he gets caught out himself, flashes straight into the Karthus, but able to get the
Still
trade
trade.
kill just in time. And here, gonna not have anything to follow up there as Cinder scares weak Vagar, but not enough for a Requiem really to be required.
I'm trying to make these points, and they're trying to break these points for me. I've got no idea. I'm like, you know, this is how I think they should be playing the game, and then they're like, nah, we'll just walk into the jungle, we'll be fine. But as we saw, the idea that they want to play is they now want to play around their catch potential until a point in which there is something to team fight around. Maybe that Rift Herald was a team fight objective. Maybe the next dragon spawning is going to be a team fight objective. It's another Inferno. Maybe they want to team fight around those. Until that point, they want to be abusing their catch potential with the Thresh, the Vigar, and the Xin Zhao. Now, the way that they can do that is by abusing their vision control. They have strong priority from their mid lane, and they should have priority from their bot lane. Although it's a little difficult for that lane to fight now. So they should be looking for catches around that bot lane. They should be trying to pull Syndra and Karthus into unsafe positions with good vision control, and trying to catch them out so that they can actually rotate between mid and bot and potentially look for those turrets. However,
Oh, Scatter of the Week went on the Veigar, able to get the stun. No follow-up, though.
what we're seeing is that Xin Zhao is also still playing to that top lane, so maybe they're trying to get that matchup into a more salvageable position. At the moment, it's a 40 CS. The Fiora has just finished her Trinity Force, which makes that matchup very difficult. The Jax will probably go back and pick up the Trinity Force himself, but it's definitely a Fiora-favored matchup at this point.
Meanwhile, Karthus heading down towards the bot lane. Maybe gonna try to get something onto this Thresh. They are pushed up quite a bit. Maybe just setting up around Drake. Who knows? Oh, Karthus is actually pushing into their jungle, trying to get some invade.
Vayne has been cancelled her back, so again, moving back to that point of making sure that everyone backs at the same time, making sure that there's parity between those recalls, everyone resets at the same time. The Thresh now has a bunch of time in which he's going to be on his own in the lane. He's going to have about 15 seconds of not being able to do fuck all. Not being able to do anything nice. So he's going to be able to, he should be using his time to clear vision, try to make space for that Xin Zhao to get into bot lane, and potentially look for a play. Although it's very difficult to make a play onto a Janna lane.
Yeah, Janna's gonna put that control ward down. They do spot out the Jax here, saying, "Oh, you don't want to go that close, Syndra." But Fiora is down here, and Karthus. Oh, they engage on the Veigar. Flash coming through. Requiem's gonna be able to get the kill onto the Veigar. No, he's gonna be able to stopwatch just in time. Syndra presses R, not able to get the kill just yet. Veigar tries to stay alive, but he gets taken down. In addition to the Jax, nearly escaped there, but not quite enough. That's gonna be this rift over to the side of TMT. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Scatter of the Week on to the Xin Zhao, but the Thresh engage coming through, but Diana, you gotta disengage with that ulti, and she does.
There's the Janna cock block. You cannot walk into that. Whoa!
Oh! That's
that
disgusting!
Dirty! Well, apparently, Pagan knows how to play more than Vel'Koz, which is more than some other players on this team can
Not
say.
the Vel'Koz main. That's Anti-Gravity's the Vel'Koz main.
There's two of them in this game. Saying he's showing them how to play other champions, but yes, that as you mentioned, that will be the Rift Herald. And now the question is whether where that Rift Herald is going to be used. Now the Infernal Dragon is spawning in 15 seconds, and they've all reset, which will give first response to TSM. Whether or not they decide to start controlling, it looks like they're going to look to control that Infernal Dragon as they should, but the too many tentacles can use that Rift Herald to open up bot lane and force them to try and defend against the Rift Herald and then take the Infernal from it. There are multiple plays to be made here. It'll be interesting to see what they choose for, except for if Janna gets caught.
Oh, Janna has been caught, but she's able to dodge most of the Veigar damage. Scout will be coming through. Veigar's just going to go down. Kind of easy for the Fiora to get that follow-up. Hook is going to miss from the Thresh. Now they're going to try after this Dragon as the Jack splits that top lane. Gets something out of that, Karthus. We got the smite. It's an infernal for a top lane turret, so you're getting something onto the Jax there.
Getting something. Not sure if it's worth it, considering that this Rift Herald will be used mid lane to open it up now. Now they could potentially, because Vayne and Thresh are both in the bot lane, they can look for two turrets in the mid lane. All needs to be careful.
Scatter of the Week misses. Jax is fighting the Fiora up there. There's the second bonk. They might actually get three. Charges off here.
That's two turrets though, and those are the mid lane. They're the important ones. They're the ones that allow you to open up both sides of the jungle. You can look to punish every single time someone walks into unwarded jungle now. As we talked about, oh, Rift. What?
What was that, Requiem?
Hello?
Hello?
Interesting Requiem. Maybe just asserting his dominance there.
He's saying, look, I have a global ultimate, you don't. Obviously, I am better. Mid lane turret is going to go down here as recalls resets the map. But yeah, this is not looking good for Team Solar Panel. How do you see them getting back into this one? Is it fighting at Baron? Is it picks? Like, what do you see in that crystal ball of yours?
At the moment, the best choice they have is to push their vision forward. As they move forward through those lanes, they can catch people out like Janus in this cage here, but shrugs off most of the damage. They need to be looking for those picks. They need to catch someone out on a rotation. The Fiora is going to have to match that Jax. They both have TP, so they want to try and bait that Fiora
Oh,
TP.
but Zenzo, he's getting caught. Ultimate comes through, stopwatch, and the passive, or not the passive, the W able to get the kill. But Jax was kind of splitting.
There was a decent idea of Zinzao. There's a decent idea of Kovi. Oh.
Counter-Strike.
Okay, saved. There's a decent idea to move that far forward. But
here comes Thresh! Oh, Kaiser's gonna get out flashes, but there's a Vayne. Was invisible. Not anymore.
No more. She can be seen. She's fairly seen and she's very slowly running towards you. But that Zinzao getting caught out there is the right idea. He needs to be putting pressure into the jungle. He needs to be trying to catch out this Karthus. But you need to be pushing your vision forward at the same time. Vision is a living thing. You need to move it with you. If you move your team forward, your vision needs to move forward too. Nothing coming of that.
You're trying to get these vital procs, hasn't gotten any yet. Veigar's gonna get the cage. The counter not able to do enough just yet. Gets stunned, has to flash away. Flow coming down. The Jax able to get the stun. There it is, Veigar pressing R, but Jax actually getting the kill. But that's Baron. Started up on the side of TMT. TSM has no idea this is going on.
They can see it now. There's a TP coming in.
Oh, is it gonna be enough? There's a 2000. Heal comes through, able to get the kill onto the Janna. Anti-gravity gets that kill. Requiem. Oh, the red team able to get it with Kai'Sa. Requiem coming through, able to get it.
Oh.
Two. Papega's on a rampage, and here comes Veigar, able to get one, but not enough. Oh wait, Veigar with the ultimate. Syndra presses R, but so does Veigar. Actually, Veigar didn't get the ult. That was a Q. My bad. That's actually a 4-for-3 overall in favor of TSM. Only the Karthus has Baron buff.
Now, Karthus having Baron buff is not the greatest thing, because he doesn't want to be in a lane. He wants to continue cycling his jungle, as we mentioned, farm up ever and ever and ever till no one can deal with him. So he doesn't want to be sitting in a lane, and therefore that Baron buff is not going to have that much effect if he's playing successfully. The main thing here that we have to consider is that Baron has now been taken off the map. There is no way to bait around that Baron because it won't be up for another 5 to 6 minutes. There is a dragon coming up, which is the next thing to fight around. So the vision control needs to be placed around there. The catches need to be based around there. But from now onwards, there are very small objectives to play your catch game around. As we mentioned, with TSM wanting to look for those catches and have that strong vision control looking an entrance back into this game, they need to be looking for fighting around the blue buff. They need to be fighting around the red buff. They need to be catching around these control wards, because they're the only things left on the map to actually fight.
Scout of the week and the Syndra are Karthus able to get the ultimate down, but the Zinzao able to...
The Ocean Dragon cancelled the Karthus ult.
Oh man. That was something.
I don't think with the Zinzao ultimate up, the Karthus ult probably wouldn't have killed him, but it was very interesting. The starting of that Ocean Dragon as Karthus, the knockback on the start of it cancelled the Karthus ultimate. So
Feels bad, man. But Karthus does have buff, and they are using Baron buff on this cannon minion. Protect the cannon at all costs.
Jax still split pushing in the side lane though. This is the best that they're probably going to get. Zinzao behind them.
Oh, Syndra's going in for a lot of damage, not able to get the kill onto the Thresh just yet. Able to get the inhibitor though, while Jax up here going in on this inhibitor tower, able to get it. Fiora trying to come in, get something, not able to get a vital proc.
They're finishing the game.
Oh my god, they're going from the end!
Oh,
but
Kaiser's
the stun
got-
comes through! Veigar deletes the Kaisa, and that's one, that's two. Veigar's able to get yet another one. That's three! Veigar with the triple kill popping off! What are you doing, TMT? That was so greedy!
I think they felt the pressure of that Jack split push. They sent the Fiora back to deal with the Jack split push rather than commit to a 5-man mid, and they just got caught out. The Kai'Sa and the Janna both caught out in the same Veigar cage, which means the Janna is not able to disengage any kind of forward play from TSM. Means that there is now options for TSM across the map. They can take this mid turret, they can send their Jacks into the bot lane turret. There's an open inhib in top side, and Baron's going to be spawning in about 3 minutes or 2.5 minutes. So there's a lot of options for them to do. They need to be controlling vision around the area they want to fight in now. So they should reset here, have the Jacks shove this wave, have it crash, and then reset so he can pick it up. He still doesn't have his TP, while the Fiora does, so they don't want to be split pushing at this point. But they can look to start setting up around this Baron, which will be up soon, and is probably going to be the final kind of the final key or the final piece of the puzzle for both these teams if they want to finish.
Interesting thing to note, they went from about a 7k gold deficit down to 2k from that fight due to all the shutdown gold that they were able to get onto that Veigar. He's going to be huge. Karthus still carrying the Magi Soul Stealer, even though he's got no stacks. A little bit of a disrespect buy in the first place, but I wasn't able to point it out while it actually was a disrespect buy.
He's trying. He's got optimism for the future. I think the important thing to note here as well is that in Veigar's skill order, he has decided to max his W first. Now, what this says to me is that they were looking to turtle. They were looking to try and clear waves because by relying on the
W second?
No, W second. He's
Because
relying.
he has some X's key first, right? So
Yes, so he's relying on the extra wave clear. Usually, what a Veigar will do is they will put the extra points into his E because it allows him to actually pull off his combo against a stun target. If you
that's
level
a
your
2.5 second stun duration at max rank for the E, which they have enough CC where that's not necessarily a huge thing for them as well.
But it does mean that they will be completely CC'd for the ability of his W to come down upon their heads. Leveling that W second usually signifies, oh, Singer's caught.
Has
to
away.
flash. Well, and nothing gonna occur.
I mean, you
now,
got a tower off of it.
now that Veigar is moving into the later stages of the game in which he becomes a singular powerhouse of his own, and once that E starts to be maxed a little bit...
Oh, there's the counter, there's the procs.
And he's dead.
Force flash away, no, he's dead. So, there's the flash.
Maybe.
Dash. Oh, and
She leaves him alone.
Ow. Counter-Strike not able to do anything, but this Death Brush coming in. I think up around Baron. Oh, Scout of the Week on to the Xin Zhao. Not able to get anything. Veigar presses R on the wrong champion, not able... Oh, sorry, correction. He does press it on the right champion. He's able to delete the Janna. And, yeah, that's two dead. They're not going to go on Baron because they're not quite healthy yet. Fiora's going to draw the threat.
Potentially could. If Fiora draws everyone bot lane and then TPs to that Baron, they could very easily take it or just rotate up there.
They're on it.
There's no way that they can be stopped. If they juggle this Baron aggro well enough, they can very easily take... There you go. The damage is coming in. It's definitely gone.
It's now... Veigar cannot die. Essentially...
Now, look at that greed. They could have held off on taking that Baron so that their Janna would have it as well, but...
Oh, man.
They don't care about their support player.
Yeah, the Janna does not have Baron buff right now. They do get a dragon as compensation, at the very least. So that is a Mountain Drake, gonna be a bit of help over here. Gonna try to grab as many objectives as they can here, and we're back to a 3.5k gold lead. With this Baron buff, they're going to go in for the push and try to get the win here. Thresh able to catch out the Janna, trying to get something. Kaisa able to do damage. Janna with the disengage. Gonna have to knock up 2 people, but here comes Pepega. Pepega is in a very bad spot and gets stunned by the Veigar. Oh no, you're dead there. You can't do anything against that, but Cupkey is going to get Emiko. Emiko is going to go down. The Karthus ultimate able to get 1, not able to get the Veigar as he has to go out.
Oh!
Oh, there is the kill onto the Veigar just there.
Oh,
And
but
the
can we see? Can
It-
we see the Vayne 1v2 to save the game?
It is possible, but they do have a Baron wave coming in to the base. Only 1 turret at half HP, and it is a Karthus. Karthus gonna fly forward, gonna try to get as much damage as she can, but no, that's gonna be the game. TMT gonna take the series 2-0. Obviously, this means that these 5 coaches are the best coaches in NA because their game skill is directly proportional to their... No, I'm just kidding.
Certainly better than whoever CG is going. But more importantly, that was a very clean finish. They identified how they were going to play it out. They played around their Fiora extremely well. Fiora, again, getting ahead in that early game by about 50 CS meant that she was able to take over that side lane, and they decided to play around that. Even though the Karthus got a little bit pressured early, he was able to scale up based off the lane pressure that he had, and then they just looked for those team fights. That extremely good team fight around that bot lane with the Janna 3-man tornado into the Scatter of the Week just meant that they could pick up so many objectives and so much free farm and experience off that it was very much their game to lose. Very close around their end point, in which there's only 2k gold difference, but then they just closed it out very nicely, very cleanly.
Yeah, TMT almost threw that in the TSM base. However, they were able to pick up the second Baron and grab the win. With that said, thank you for watching. Next week, we're going to start with their students' show matches. Be sure to drop a follow for the stream, join our Discord, and all that good stuff. Until the next time, see you. Or I am Finnick,
And I'm Ozdoc.
and see you later. Bye bye now.
Bye, guys.